I was not gonna comment on this too much, but since we're starting to pick it up at this point, might as well point out to you this. Yesterday, when I tapped on it, it would just go. This is today thing. So this is going to YouTube immediately, giving you a hint that the video is very important. Although I cannot actually put that one in this account immediately, it's going to be in the other one. And as a cue, as main lines that I can just rephrase to you, someone threw shit drugs on me. See, I cannot think. That's the she impacted a narcotics on me. This is actually where I stopped doing what I was doing, all the way back here with tags, because I realized that I couldn't think anymore due to the sheer amount of narcotics being thrown on me in slow quantities, but over 4 hours, non-stop, with additions of other irritation drugs on my skin, causing a reaction on my skin and psychological harm, I suppose, and psychological torture, I suppose, excuse me, and the other things like this as well. But by and large, piercing the shit very easy to ignore, unless they're definitely piercing shit drugs like the criminals nearby. So overall, it's a very straightforward case of the again. I don't know. I start to get rush, my brain starts to be an thing, and as I was noticing and pointing out different drugs on me, different drugs on me, for 4 hours. Now, I would imagine that for the extended period of roughly that, and to start, they were draining their other power bank considerably higher rates. It was charged 2 days ago. This power bank is something that we charged on Friday, and it lasts easily until Monday morning. Not easily. Shooting charge on a Saturday lasts easily until Monday morning, arriving here with the same as isn't that more or less what happened? More or less, but I mean Saturday earlier. Right away. As I'm saying, this phone just doesn't charge. As you can see, it has been connected to the charge, saying that it's going to take, and this is the key element there, 2 hours and 8 minutes to full, which is absurd by itself because it's supposed to be much less than that, but it just won't charge. And the idea is they're going to stop this thing from getting charged. So this day spends in here, and then they can guarantee that the next day can try to do anything productive. And that's what I'm saying. Mind the faces. The faces. Oh, by the way, those faces. It seems that they're concerned as far as being there long enough for me to be talking to, especially in those terms, was accomplished, and so they can go. Mind that. As for this walk number. Okay, some of the drugs on me, as I said, as I was here. But most importantly, I want you to appreciate how sick this is. That it's still not full. Did it find anything? Oh yeah, as I was saying, the machine listened. So you heard here first. The machine listened to me, and indeed realized it was pretty absurd that that was too long. Charging the same machine that decided to shut down the other phone. The same machine that charges this phone in 1.21 minutes, 1 hour 21 minutes. But when I connect the cable, it charges the same phone in 3 hours and such. Which is funny, because the other phone, when connected directly here, the one that charges the fastest, it doesn't give any signal at all. And this is what happens. You don't understand. It's gonna keep this in an infinity loop on this cable. The fastest one in this phone doesn't even get enough charge to start on that phone. The lobster came from the place of the criminals in front of me, by the way. Not even after they for what it's worth. So, meanwhile, connecting the cable from this phone powers up this phone just fine, as you see all the other times. So, just for perspective, so it is very funny that while this one says it's going to take 2 hours and 6 minutes, this one says it's going to take 1 hour and 2. I was actually surprised. I was thinking they're going to make it less free. And I'll be like, no, remember yesterday when you saw that? That's the proof that they're interfering with the phone right now. Apparently they didn't got enough time to be stupid. But the issue is, for what it's worth, I'm just saying, and And that's the case. Okay. So mind that. So with this phone at 38%, this thing nominally fully charged, even though it's there for a while. This thing is still theoretically charging. It doesn't say charging complete as it's supposed to. As I said to you, that this thing is probably. Oh, here goes. That's probably the argument you needed to see that how this phone is directly hacked, because well, quite straightforward. See what they did there? Yeah, my position didn't change at all. I've been holding this in exactly the same way. It just by itself decided to do that. You know why? Because there's a child passing in front of you. So, again, in no uncertain terms. And that's what I mentioned by ultimately control the phone. Again, my hand didn't change. You'll notice if things like this then should be the case with this. You can hear the background, you can hear the difference in the voice, the phone itself flipping. So, that's the case. Now, it's kind of in line with what you saw the sick son of a bitch doing yesterday, right? Trying to literally get away when I finally accomplished his own charge of exposed to this crime. So mind that. Another group of individuals, essentially children, stop doing absolutely nothing here. They're moving away after me doing this. That is this place. That's what these people do. So mind that. What else? Um, Now, so long as this thing is charged, then I can just turn on this, let this phone charge go off, because if you connect the other phone into this, and be distracted and not allow that to get to me, because that will not stop. I don't think I appreciate how much this is again. That. And that's what I said. Children, psychological crimes, psychological torture for what it's worth. Because they have behind that, but the other ones didn't have any children. But as I said, by all means, I see. I cannot think. So again, that's the individual that they picked up for the crimes, and the casual tone being the most important relevant part of that. And the assumption that everybody else on the planet is stupid except for them. So maybe they're gonna convince you and they'll be fine. But now you already have those faces there and you have the faces now. So it just took them for me to do what they seem to think is a very good for them, which is doing this. Yeah, there's narcotics over 4 hours, and they shit drugs, and they're tampering with the phone up to this point, and several individuals exposing and trying desperately to expose their own minors, not minors, children, which is different, to be a part of war crime because they cannot give any consent because they're children. So just that. That's this crime. I was gonna say that's Foz do Iguaçu, but that's not true. Over there, I think Bosch is in this city. So I believe that that's Brazil, as they seem to say all the time for you, because they really think that that's how this plays out in the end. Maybe will. Again, I know. But at the end of the day, sure as hell not just one city. Buenos Aires isn't here. The rest of the country went in very serious areas in here. The where's the name? Comes the country with the other things also not here. Good thing that all those two music children always doing something weird with them in front of me, right? Now I can testify that there are several others who are just passing, but it's very fortunate that by the time when you actually get to see them, they're always doing something weird. They never just acting like normal people. And then that's completely enough. I suppose consider as calm or stupidity, arrogance, whatever it goes. But again, so that's what you could see. Back to the thing that I was showcasing to you, cannot think. That's how strong that assault is. I really struggling to think a title for that, which is why these days we don't actually put a title, we just put a date and a time. And we hope that at some point you'll be able to figure out the title. Which doesn't change anything. At the end of the day, the things are still online. Any good person can stumble on it for a variety of means, and it takes but one. So, no, that's not the correct. That's not correct. No one. That is not a correct time. Yes, it took my brain all that time to process that that wouldn't be consistent with being the last one. And that's what you get to see. But that's okay though, because this entire time the phone went up by 1%. But it's okay, even better because it's gonna charge in 2 hours. Same as the 2 hours it was 4 hours ago. And that would be just on the say, right? Because they sold the phone with this. And they was notified of this, that they said that they tested and they had no issues, which means that it's a malicious crime. An actual crime, like done with malice, not for negligence. And the issue is the but no, because they're not the ones you see, are they? Or they who we saw someone there from them who we saw yesterday clearly have vision on the phone. So much so they decided that he got what he needed once his own child finally managed to be in front of the thing. 2 days ago, not yesterday, 2 days ago. I don't think so. So, yeah, they did it and they're responsible for the digital crimes for it as well. But they're not the only ones taking advantage of it. So, mind of this. Mind the faces. It's gonna work. By the way, you know what this noise is? It's about stalking. I'm gonna showcase that to you in a minute. Notice that you're always gonna listen to that in weird moments, like as I finish talking or midway through something. You're not gonna be like when I'm doing nothing, just distracted, watching a video, playing a game, or just doing random things. And also, most importantly, someone next to me, right? And I'm gonna look, just like someone next to me. Or even better, is it occupying the other seat that I can go to on the wall? Oh yeah, no, no, no. We're trying to force some longer times now so that you fully appreciate the unease. But again, just sheer numbers. Because they're not gonna break me, so you might as well just showcase them to you. Because then you have the full impact of